All right, everybody, welcome tonight. It is a beautiful evening here. We are broadcasting from the Palatial Studios, towering 13 feet above South Mercer Street. We're rolling from the 16125 zip code. For those of you that do not have every zip code memorized in the United States, that is Western Pennsylvania. So welcome to all of you. I see all of you guys jumping in here, so a big hello to all the Facebook folkies out there. Still working on the crew name. I've got to figure that out. We're going to get that rolling. I've got 2 or 3 that are leading the way, but we'll see what happens there. And then, of course, the YouTube crew is jumping in here. John Lynn Fireball, I see you there, just checking in from the metropolis of Chester, Virginia. In fact, you know what, Rita Faye Bremen? Hello. Chester, Virginia. I lived in Chester, Virginia, a long time ago. But here's what's very interesting. I was watching a Criminal Minds. I don't know what season, but I was watching a Criminal Minds, and because I used to be House, and then I finished that one, and then of course I was Patrick Jane. I was the Mentalist. And now vicariously, I'm Dr. Reed. I love Dr. Reed. I mean, El Nerdo. Love Dr. Reed. But they had an episode, and they had to solve the crime in Chester, Virginia. And I knew exactly where Chester, Virginia is. That's where I used to live. I can remember riding the school bus to school. My mother drove the school bus. Do y'all want to hear this story on a Tuesday night before we get rolling? My mother drove the school bus. It was school bus number 42. And we lived in a trailer park. It was really, this would have been about 1982. And I will never forget. So 82, 92, 02, 12. Oh my. That's almost 39 years ago. Well, I remember riding bus 42 to the school. My mother's driving the bus. And there was this little girl. God bless her. I don't know where she's at now. And these are elementary school stories, so I guess it's okay. But I used to have a problem on the school bus every day because my mother was driving, but there was this little girl named Trudy. And listen, I don't know how I remember this stuff. Yeah, I guess Chester, Virginia is the big metropolis. Mary and Leonard Fireball lived there in the 60s. Oh la la. Well, this little girl named Trudy traumatized me. Am I allowed to say this? Sure, I'm allowed to say it. She had an addiction to picking her nose. And she would ride the school bus and sit in the back of the school bus and pick her nose. And then one lucky school bus rider would get it wiped on them when she got off the bus. Now, this is what I remember from Chester, Virginia, 10 years old, growing up, totally different world. You know, thinking about that, though, I wonder what would happen today. Probably be a lawsuit and people would lose their minds. But that's where we're at. Folks, I want you to know that we have turned a whole new chapter on the Scale It Down. I'll be giving you a report on Friday. I'm feeling great. I'm drinking tons of water. I am rolling on, and this is not a commercial. They're not paying me. I'm rolling the Nutrisystem. People are sending in healthier beverages. And let me get this out of the camera there. And things are going good. Sending me protein shakes, sending me waters, all that stuff's getting better and better. And I'm feeling good. And I think this Friday, we're going to have a pretty good report on the Scale It Down. Beverage for tonight coming up. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you are about to witness is not only exciting and educational, but sometimes a bit risky as well. Do not try this at home. It's time for the beverage of the night.
Beverage of the night tonight, Elevation. No, not the music, not the church, but this is Elevation Better For You. I'm telling you, I'm working on this. Meal replacement. Chocolate shake. With the scale going down. We're scaling it down. Shake well. Come on, baby. Be a chocolate milkshake for me. Be a chocolate milkshake for me. Man, I miss Dairy Queen. That peanut butter bash and just all the goodness on a warm summer day. The Dairy Queen drive-thru. But I've got Elevation shakes. Whoa, 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 whoa. This is good stuff right here. Elevation meal replacement. Woo! Fill my refrigerator up. They are fantastic. Folks, I also received a gift into the studio. Yeah, I think you did. Check this out. Good evening, everyone. It seems I logged on at an interesting moment. Yes, you logged on at an interesting moment when we're discussing the school bus rides of a 10-year-old who was traumatized. Received a gift into the studio today from a viewer. This is from the Rimold crew, and I waited to open it. I think they call this an unboxing. This is a Phillips head screwdriver out of my toolbox over here in the studio, but really what it is, if you want to know the truth, it's my back scratcher. It keeps me all squared away there, but here we go. All right, so we're opening. Rimold's sent me a couple of books. He said it was based off the last show that we did when we had Ron Barnes in here, and we were discussing things. Ron did an awesome job, Pastor Ron Barnes. All right, I got a couple of books in here, folks. Let's see. Okay, Breaking the News, Alex Marlowe, editor-in-chief of Breitbart. Okay, Exposing Media's Hidden Details. That's cool. Thank you. I'll be checking that one out. And Mark Levin, American Marxism. That's the one he was talking about that I talked about on the program the other night. So big thank you to the Rimolds for the books. I will be reading them and we'll be rolling it. Folks, we've got a lot of stuff to get to tonight. Everybody is up in here. We're going to have a great time. And if you are coming in through YouTube or you saw the Facebook advertisement, I've been trying to run a pre-ad. Let me pull that down just a hair. I've been trying to run a pre-ad prior to the program, give you an idea of where we're going. People can share it, and it's working. It's spreading the news, and we'll continue to do that. But tonight, we are doing a takeoff on Richard Dawson and the Family Feud. Of course, I will not be kissing Barney Fife. He's right here. But tonight we're going to talk about the survey says and the great opportunity that it gives us as believers, because the survey says something interesting. If you are ready, grab your protein shake and buckle up your seatbelt. It's time to roll. As usual, I see all of you guys there in the chat, and I try to give shout outs and hellos, and I'll always continue to do that no matter how many viewers we get in here. But if I ever miss you, it is not on purpose. I just have a whole lot rolling here. Let me show you what I'm watching. It's just line by line, it keeps rolling through, and I'm trying to monitor all these other screens that are in front of me. So thank you. Hello to all of you. It is time to rock and roll. The first thing we're going to do tonight, we're going to start with a little bit of fun. A couple of cartoons here I thought were pretty funny. You may or may not like them. Remember, I look at the right, I look at the left, I look at the middle, follow a lot of international news because they're not so biased. And somewhere we try to find the truth in the middle. But this was pretty interesting. Tank rolling through from California and or Michigan, and there's the eagle in his left hand, churches and small businesses, and in the right hand, constitutional rights. And the tank is sitting there, the California tank, put down the Constitution and back away slowly. I think that's a pretty good one, pretty funny there. The other one coming up, I like this one. We've been talking about climate change and all this jazz. Last week, I was talking about that. Here it is, some archaeologist, and it translates. He digs up something from thousands of years ago, and he says it translate to the world will end in 12 years. And the other guy goes, wow, an ancient environmentalist. So I thought they were pretty funny. Mark Reimold, I see you up in here giving the big howdy. I don't know if you were on earlier, but I want to give a big thank you, as I already did, for the books that came into the studio, Breaking the News and American Marxism. That guy that's got howdy on the screen there, that's the crew that sent the books in. Big thank you for that, my friend. So folks, tonight we're going to talk about Survey Says. Let's start right here tonight. Americans' optimism about our country's direction. And this is a poll that was taken equally divided among registered Republicans, registered Democrats, registered independents. This was a poll taken in May, late May, June, and early July from a cross section, okay, of the three major movements, right, left, and middle. And here's what the survey says. The survey says, and I couldn't use the music because it's copyrighted, or I would have. I can't get myself or Integrity Television into trouble. That would be no bueno, believe me. So, Americans' optimism, right, left, and middle, all different socioeconomic backgrounds, all different religious backgrounds, Christian backgrounds, non-Christian backgrounds, etc. A diverse cross-section of the American public. The optimism for the next 4 years for America. And this did not just come out and rip the Biden administration or anything. This was just the optimism and outlook for America over the next 4 years. Dropped 20 points. 20 points from 59 to 39 in just 6 weeks. Whatever it was, end of May, early July. 6 weeks. Also in that survey was, what are your concerns with the outlook for America? Hey. Oh, did that Happy Meal go up? How much was your lumber? Chicken nuggets? Getting pretty pricey. Exactly. Number 2, border and immigration. I have a question for you. And I've got to tell you, I was really looking for this today. I was hunting. You guys know a lot of work goes on behind the scenes. We had a great staff meeting this morning at the church. We're based here out of Bethel Life in Greenville, Pennsylvania. And then I had to run some errands and been working on the show all afternoon, working on different projects and things. So I was researching, trying to pull this together, and I was looking. So I have a big question for you. Where is Kamala Harris?
Nip it in the bud. First sign of youngsters going wrong, you got to nip it in the bud.
Would somebody please tell me where the Vice President of the United States is, who was given the responsibility to deal with the border and immigration? I'm just wondering. I'm not judging, not throwing her under the bus. I'm just wondering, Vice President Kamala, where are you? You know, there was a famous line of books that came out called Where in the World is Waldo? You remember those books? And Waldo would be, you know, wearing the red and or whatever, and you'd have to find him, and there'd be a million people there, and then you're looking for Waldo. So I'm going to write a new book and put it out. Where in the world is Kamala? This is not my opinions. I'm pulling this from facts, and I will be glad to send you or post the data. You're going to get it, Fred Callahan. But the outlook for America, right, left, and middle, the positivity has dropped over 20 points in the last 6 weeks. Border and immigration. Where in the world is Kamala? Number 3, foreign policy. Folks are nervous about our foreign policy. You say, well, we got to take care of ourselves. Well, we do. We have to take care of ourselves. You know, Fred, listen, I love you, brother. And of course, we'll always be honorable on this show, but I think you may be accurate right there and not being disrespectful, but it's awful silent right now from the vice president. Something has happened for sure. So foreign policy, folks, if we do not have a solid foreign policy and assist nations globally, not to where we give all of our finances, all of our monies, send our military away to get destroyed. That's not what I'm talking about. We're not the police for the world, but we're the most powerful nation on the planet, and there are lots and lots of rogue, R-O-G-U-E ideologies and nations and governments out there that want to destroy America, that want to destroy anything left of goodness that we stand for. And we have to take care of our country, and we do that by having a strong foreign policy. Right now, folks are very concerned about foreign policy. And the fourth thing is these same folks, Republicans, Democrats, and independents, church and non-church, they're still concerned about COVID-19. So, folks, for the survey says, we're going to talk about that a little bit tonight, and I'm going to roll through some stuff quickly. I think you'll enjoy it. First of all, let's start with the COVID. We know the Delta variant, and listen, you guys know where we come from. We've been very honorable. We've always tried to honor and do the right thing. We have I can't say all, but a majority of us in here that are connected locally, we've lost folks to COVID-19. I've lost my own father-in-law. I was sitting here thinking, even today, right now, I've got some very close friends that are young and healthy that are very, very ill from COVID. And I understand it's a challenge right now. I mean, Ricky, you watching tonight? He's very sick with COVID down there in Virginia. I have a very good friend, Pete Ellis, young fella down in Texas, very ill, hospital, COVID. I understand, so I want to be respectful. But here's the problem. At some point, we have to have good leadership. And that's the reason we're in the problem right now. The White House is calling mask extra protection for vaccinated while reiterating the vaccine's work. Now, folks, that right there is madness. And you're coming from a guy who's balanced. I know some of you out there are pro-vaccine, anti-vaccine, and that is your right, and I'll always respect you. I've taken the vaccine, the Johnson & Johnson, because I need to do some traveling internationally. My daughter had to have the vaccine so she could be on the missions field right now. She's fine, okay? So we try to have a very balanced and fair view about this. But the problem comes when we have such poor leadership in Washington, D.C., that doesn't know how to communicate a method to lead this country and be an example to lead the world to health. We are not living in 1918. We are living in 2021. This is a new world, new technology, new speeds, new ways to communicate, new ways to keep people healthy, et cetera, et cetera. And without good, wise leadership, all that happens is we create a wormhole of fear and mistrust and conspiracy theory, and it's a tragedy for everybody. I don't think I can say it any better than that. But when you have the President of the United States who has a press secretary that communicates that statement right there, look on your screen, White House calls mask extra protection for vaccinated while reiterating the vaccine's work. Now, folks, come on. What are you communicating? If the vaccines work, oh, well, PG, that Delta variant. I understand mutation. I read about this every single day. But I also understand that we need to have strong leadership that does not communicate mixed messages, because all that does is drive the fear, all that does is drive the confusion, and all that does is drive the chaos. Do you think that statement right there is going to help get Americans back to work? Do you think that statement right there is going to help people realize that they can come back to social gatherings, get back into their churches, get back active? Those statements are going to do nothing but suppress people once again, and it's extremely dangerous to have that type of leadership. I'm actually going to pop this one in there. Hey there, Robin Branch, Sandal sister. This is coming. That's my wife downstairs watching live. She's below the Play Shield Studios. I'm 13 feet up. So this is a lady, you see your message on the screen, who lost her father to COVID-19. And she is communicating, yes, it communicates confusion. So folks, Here's what I'm saying. If you're wondering why these it's not polls numbers, it was optimism. Surveys for optimism are dropping like a lead balloon. It's because we have no leadership. That's exactly right. Who's going to believe anything they say? Nobody. Man, I don't mean to camp out here, but I've got to camp out here just a moment. Do you understand that when we communicate two different things, you'll never have a mandate? Never. Now, let's apply this to your business. Let's say you're in business, and on Monday, you're communicating, hey, our company's going to be selling this product. But then on Tuesday, you just change your mind and say, no, we decided not to sell that product. And then on Wednesday, you change your mind again and go, well, we're going to sell a similar product. Nobody's coming to your company. Nobody. Let's talk about the church. Let's talk about your small group. Let's talk about the messages that are being preached from pulpits around this country and world. Think about it for a moment. On one Sunday, you can hear one message that's moving us toward the future, moving us to the things that God has for us. And the very next week out of the pulpit, and I'm not calling any pulpits, I'm just talking in general, you can hear a completely opposite message maybe. This is the problem why we're not moving forward as a nation and a country. When we have no clarity, when we have no unity, when we have no, here's the word, consistency. When we have no consistency, you have lost your mandate. Dear DC, I am sorry, but you have lost. Whatever mandate you had, gone. What happens? Check it out. So the CDC is coming out today and going, oh, we're going to require masks here, there. Even if you're vaccinated, this may be coming. And, even if you're in groups or large areas, you need to consider masking. St. Louis, being one of the large cities, they've already come out and says, listen, we will not enforce national mask mandates. The Missouri Attorney General sues to block St. Louis area mask mandates. General Governor DeSantis down in Florida responds today. He says masks for children and others should not be mandated. Here's the deal. We have no clarity. So all that is being created is confusion and chaos. My dear friends, I want you to think about something from a biblical viewpoint. Think about it. Think about biblical principles right now. Confusion and chaos is the work of evil. And I'm not specifically calling anybody evil. If the shoe fits, wear it. But the principles are what I'm talking about. Chaos, confusion is evil. Peace, transparency, and clarity is good. Folks, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. And right now, we have a lot of chaos going on. Closing out the COVID, remember, we're talking, the survey says tonight, 4 things. First one we're dealing with is COVID. I want to, at the same time, be respectful. Right now, I want you to remember these guys in prayer. For me personally, I've got a lot of friends right now that are very ill. Evangelist Mick Snyder and his wife, both are extremely ill with COVID on the machines. Pastor Joaquin Molina, his family and entire church staff, Miami, Florida, very ill with COVID-19. My cousin, the Rabbit, or Ricochet, probably watching the program tonight on some platform, very ill with COVID and other things that he's dealing with. My friend that I play a lot of music with, and the list just goes on. So we have to have a plan. But Let's pray for Billy Graham's grandson. His name is Jonathan Lotz, and he is actually a very, very powerful evangelist, minister of God in his own right. He's standing there on your left. He is in the ICU down there in North Carolina battling COVID. And Pastor Max Lucado. A lot of you guys like to read after Max Lucado. So we need to remember these folks in prayer. And yeah, exactly. So I see your guys' messages, there's Amy Foltz. And Amy, can I use you as an example? I'm going to use Amy as an example. I better wait for permission. Amy, if you'll let me use you an example, drop me a big "It's okay PG" in the chat. Yeah, Bruce Lozier, chaos is Satan's playground. Robert J. Viviano, rolling in from Florida. That's the plan. Keep people scared, confused, and divided. So I got permission from Amy Foltz. You see some folks post on Facebook or other social media outlets more than others. And I've seen Amy's quite a bit. And she's very direct. And with all due respect, I am too. But she's very direct on her viewpoints of how things are operating in America, the coronavirus, other issues, whether it's related to the church or politics. And very clear and concise, looking for freedom, looking for truth and transparency. I've read lots of her posts, but at the same time, wanting this freedom, there's still a reality. She says, my son, Gavin Rutherford's in boot camp for Marines, very sick with COVID. So folks, we're going to move off the COVID and move to the other three things for the survey, but never think that I am ever minimizing the effects of COVID-19. I was sick for 3 months. I've lost lots of friends. Not what I'm talking about. But what I am talking about is survey says we need some strong leadership. We need some good plans. We need some clarity because right now we're spinning our wheels in chaos and confusion. And if we want to get back to normality, whatever that may be with COVID, with foreign policy, with economics, etc., we better have some transparency and a plan. That's where we're at. Did I ask the question? The second problem that is, the survey says, is border and immigration. I was asking earlier, where is Vice President Kamala Harris? Would it be okay? This is the beauty of this program right here. This is why you should never miss this program on Tuesdays and Fridays. A, we're going to look at what's going on. B, we're going to bring it back to the Word of God. But C, look at this message from Bruce Lozier to Amy Foltz. Amy, God bless your son, praying for you all. This is beautiful. So I have a song tonight. I need to set up my singing microphone. So Texas Governor Abbott orders the National Guard to help arrest illegal immigrants. They are pouring across the border because right now we have a completely open border. Now, if you go back to transparency, if you go back to having a mandate, having a plan, we are going to mandate that vaccinated people, when they're in large crowds, potentially mandate, need to wear masks again. But we're going to allow hundreds of thousands of people to cross the border illegally. And I know some of them are looking for a better life, but if you want a better life, you come the right way, period. So we're just going to let drugs across the border, human trafficking across the border, disease across the border, COVID across the border. But If you are in a large group at Target, you better have your mask on, even if you're vaccinated. Folks, that is absolute chaos. Here in Western Pennsylvania, our U.S. representative to the House is Mike Kelly. There's a picture of him right there. He just put out an article, and I was really happy to find that he was talking about a migrant wave twice the size of Erie. For those of you that are new tonight, and we are loaded up in here on Facebook, YouTube, and Integrity Television, it is awesome. Thank you for being in here. Make sure if you're on YouTube or you're on Facebook, you hit likes and shares. It helps more people see it. It's just how their analytics work, but we want to get the message out. Mike Kelly is U.S. Representative, House of Representative for Western Pennsylvania, basically from Lake Erie, up in Erie, down through this region where we live here in Mercer County, and then down into Butler County. So not all the way to Pittsburgh, but he's grabbing some of that northern Pittsburgh crowd. So from there up to Erie, and he just put out a statement that he has visited the border multiple times. You don't hear anything about it, but he put out a statement. I visited it. The problems are real, and there is a surge of migrants at the border twice the size of the city of Erie, Pennsylvania. For those of you that live here locally, or if you've ever been on your way to Niagara Falls on vacation from somewhere else and you went through Erie, that gives you a concept of what is going on down there at the border. So, folks, I have a song tonight dedicated to Vice President Kamala Harris. Where, oh, where are you tonight? Why did you leave me here all alone? I searched the border over and thought I would find you. What would I do after that? You found another? You didn't do anything, and you just stayed home. Oh, that's even better. That's even better. Where, oh, where are you tonight? Why did you leave the United States all alone? We searched the border over and thought we would find you, but you went and found another, and you stayed right home. Kamala Harris, why don't you go do your job? That's all I'm going to say. The third thing we're dealing with tonight, survey says, the economy. The economy. Couple of things I want to show you here. U.S. home prices see fastest growth in 17 years. And you've seen that where you live. We see that here in our small town of Greenville. Prices are up, supply is down. And you're seeing that wherever you are coming in tonight. And we have folks in this program from all over the country and from foreign countries. But in America, on average, 35% increase in the price of homes. Another guy that I follow here, his name is Charlie Bilello. Very, very, very smart guy. He is an economist, and he says the average price paid by a customer in June. Now, I want you to read this. The average price paid by a customer in June for a one-year-old vehicle was only about $80 less than the selling of a brand new vehicle. According to J.D. Power, that gap is usually closer to $5,000. Basically, a one-year-old used car costs the same as a new car. I understand there's shortages, chip shortages, product shortages. It's a mess. It's a mess. Angela Moody, as a realtor, it scares me. What goes up must come down. Blood, sweat, and tears, baby. What goes up must come down. What does it do next? Spinning wheel, got to go round. Yeah. It is open mic tonight on PGM. Oh, on the experience. So, folks, you can see it right there. We got a problem. We got a problem going on with economics. Now, you understand, survey says right, left, and middle, we're 20 points lower on optimism for the next 4 years. Why? Well, it's obvious. Take a look. How about just general chaos in our nation? Minneapolis police are moving closer to replacing police department. It is already passed their local council that they want to redo completely their public service sector. Now, this goes on a vote before the people of Minneapolis. But even for it to get this far is unbelievable. Basically, they would close the police department. And this is what is being voted on come November. Closing the police department and opening up, listen to this, a personal response division. The first wave of personal responders are social workers. They would respond to all situations, try to talk and deal with people that are struggling. And then they wouldn't have police, but they would have sanctioned peace officers. I don't think that's going to work. I really don't think that's going to work at all. You haven't seen anything yet if this passes. Now, let me tell you this. I've got a friend who is in law enforcement, and I enjoy talking to him. We talk all the time. I will not tell you his name. I'll not tell you, I have to, respect him, but he's in law enforcement on a higher level. He does lots of SWAT work, SWAT, drug bust, all that stuff. And we talk quite often. And I'll ask him and say, hey man, anything good going on? Do you have anything interesting? Every day, listen, every day he's dealing with people that social workers are not going to be able to talk down. We talk about this topic all the time. He's a cop. He says, Greg, these people are mad. He goes, when I get to places, because in fact, let me tell you what happened just a couple of days ago. He goes, we in the state police had to do a raid on a suspected drug home. When we rolled into the home, there were 4 guys with assault rifles, 500 pounds of meth, and a closet and room with 74 assault rifles and ammunition. They were all high. They were ready to fight us, but we were able to successfully take them. Nobody was killed. No shots were fired. We did it through coordinated efforts. Basically, it's like TV. He said they were all on their headsets, and in 1 second, the flash bangs went in and they rolled in through every door, every window, and they were able to take care of the situation. What is going to happen when we send in Minneapolis to that situation, which if you've never been to Minneapolis, Minneapolis is a huge, huge city. What are you, excuse me, I'm here with the peace department for Minneapolis. We've heard that you have some drugs in the house, and we would like for you to give them to us, please. Pretty please. Please, we appreciate you being very kind. Sorry. Once again, more confusion. The other thing that's goofy, look at this right here. You're talking about the things that are leading up to this survey saying we got some issues. Police warning kids, and this is throughout the nation. If you have kids around you that use TikTok, make sure they're not doing stupid stuff. I try not to use those words on the program, but this one's stupid. Please. Right now, there is a TikTok challenge, social media platform, that is challenging kids to take guns, fake guns, but look real, and point them at people, police, and you do that. And if you video it and you post it, you've accomplished the challenge. This is happening all over the country. And then what's going to happen is a good officer, one of the 99.9%, is going to get a gun pointed at him by a 16-year-old. What is he supposed to do? What is she supposed to do? The other thing is, this TikTok challenge is you're supposed to ride down the road and point your guns at people. I got news for you. If you point your guns at the wrong people at the wrong time, you're going to get a gun pointed back at you. This is madness. So, folks, if you've got folks connected to TikTok, be careful. Pastor Bill Espada checking in from California. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Nearly 270,000 K through 12 students in California were homeless in 2019, UCLA study. Not enough social workers in California to handle that, but they will show up unarmed to domestic violence call, statistically the second most dangerous police call. And therein, my dear friends, is the reason the survey is not good tonight. Our country is very, very, very concerned. The last one, foreign policy. You know, I've been dealing with this one and I will continue. I just want to remind you of something. Right now, we have no foreign policy. None. Is there a number less than zero? Oh, yeah, negative. We have a negative number. There's a couple of things here. We have pulled our troops out of Afghanistan. The last are to be out by August 31st, which is my birthday. I don't want it because I'm gonna be 37 years old. We've been pulling our forces out, and now just look at the chaos here. This aggravates me. Now, the United States today began increasing airstrikes to help Afghani forces push back the Taliban. What do you expect? You're leaving a vacuum. The United States is right now looking at pulling out of Iraq. Now listen, I know it's been tough. It's a brutal, brutal area. But once again, when we create empty vacuums, chaos comes in. Evil comes in. Rogue regimes come in. And I'm going to show you something right now. Israel came out. I got this directly from Israeli news. Israel has come out and they have said there are 5 major changes that are happening right now, currently, today, in regard to the standoff with Iran over the nuclear agreement that nobody's coming back to the table. Israel, the United States, and Iran are all backing up on that deal. Good. Israel, number 2, came out and said, no matter what Iran does, no matter what America does, we will stand alone if we have to stand alone. And that new defense guy, I wouldn't mess with him. He says, and if you don't think so, try us. Thirdly, directly from Israel, the United States has no foreign policy. So we're not counting on them for anything. The fourth thing they addressed was this is exactly what Iran is wanting. They do not want to return to that deal. They want the deal gone because it opens a whole new world for them without being checked. Not talking about Iranian people. In Iran, Christianity per capita is growing faster than any other nation. Praise God. We're talking about rogue regimes. Now we're leaving Afghanistan, and now we're going to leave Iraq. This puts Iraq as a huge player. Why? I want to remind you guys of something. Let me blow this up for you. You have two major divisions of Islam. You have Sunni and you have Shia. I have taught you on this. We discussed it. If you're in here tonight and you do not know the difference between Sunni or Shia Muslim and you're interested in that, you can go back on my YouTube channel. You'll see it there in some older videos where I've taught about the difference between Shia and Sunni. But here's the deal. Iran is just waiting for America to completely get out and to completely be silent. Why? Because Iran, Shia Muslim, and the second largest place of Shia Muslims is Iraq, and they have a desire to completely take that portion of territory. The other thing, if you'll notice, looking on that map, where is the next greatest percentage of Shia Muslims? Right there north of Israel, Lebanon, the country right now that we have been discussing for weeks. For weeks. No power, no gas, no food. Prime Minister resigns. What's happening? Hezbollah is rolling in. Iran's rolling in. Why? Because they want Israel. It's easy. They want Israel. They want to plunder Israel. They want Israel's resources. They want to destroy Israel. It's obvious, and it's happening right in front of our eyes, and we have to be very, very careful and focused on standing with our partners, Israel. You know, Ezekiel 38, we've talked many times about the peace that would come. And it just jumps off right what I'm talking about. These nations surrounding Israel coming into peace, but then the regimes are coming in to plunder Israel. You can read it directly out of Ezekiel 38. Israeli Airlines, El Al. Are you talking? This is unbelievable. Starting direct flights to Morocco, Muslim nation. They're already doing it to other nations. This peace from Israel to the nations surrounding it is happening right in front of our eyes. Folks, we were paying attention a lot last week to prayer. What was it? Prayer at the Heart of America there in Lebanon, Kansas. It was on Integrity Television. Integrity Television, thank you guys for sending the truck out there and broadcasting that live. That was awesome. It was a great, great event. It's made, pretty good headlines, pretty big news, even on secular news sites. This is directly from CBN's site. Thousands gather from all 50 states for revival at the Heart of America. Gave a very, very good report about it. And with all the stuff that's going on and the survey that says we're struggling with the 4 points that are now 20 points lower with this administration, this is the answer. This is exactly what's needed. So I have a question for you. What on earth can you and I do about it? What can we really do about it? This prayer at the Heart of America, for the Heart of America? Absolutely. What else can we do about it? I want to bring this home now for you, and I'm going to give you some practical things to help you. Come on, Viviano. Is Florida jumping in here, stealing the thunder? Look at Robert J. Viviano, Brooksville, Florida. Pray. Yes, sir. There are multiple things we can do. Eric Wilson, Look at here. Okay, folks, this is the way it's supposed to be. You guys talking to me. Shine the light. Eric Wilson, 100% agree. Amy Foltz, educate. Absolutely. I think that's what we're all trying to do together. So what can we do? What can you do? What can I do? How can we help things get better? Bruce Lozier, are you getting biblical? The Great Commission. Yes. So here's the deal. You guys are in fact, those are awesome. Pray, shine the light, educate, Great Commission. What can you personally do? A, do not stick your head in the sand. We're not ostriches, please. I'm so thankful that you guys are in here on Tuesdays and Fridays. You don't know how appreciative I am. A lot of work goes into this, and very, very thankful. Ronald Leon Vander, I think that's Richmond, Virginia. Prayer knows no boundaries. We can't stick our head in the sand. Number one. Okay. Number two, we cannot just chase any kind of conspiracy or madness. Just give me a second. Okay. If something sounds too good to be true, it most likely is. Always, and I think Amy Foltz wrote it there, educate. If you're not sure about something, start researching it. Be careful where you research, but get some background. Make sure when you're forming your opinions, you come to an educated and biblical viewpoint. Who else? What'd you write in there? Shine the light. Yes, that was perfect to what I wanted to say. Get involved somehow. Get involved. Serve at your church. Get involved in a ministry. Find somebody to mentor. You see, we can only affect the circle we have. But let's look at how this is happening right now. I'm trying to educate, inspire, challenge, teach you guys a couple hours Tuesday and Friday. Wednesday, it's, worshiping the word. But then all of you can take that and take it to more people. And then it's just like a chain reaction. It really works. Do not be discouraged. I think the Bible says in Galatians 6:9, do not grow weary in well-doing, because if you do not give up, the right time you're going to reap a harvest. Dear friends, don't lose heart. Don't, whatever you do, give up, because the best is yet to come. And finally, Ronald Leon Vander, he writes in here, and I'll show it again, prayer knows no boundaries. So with that said, I've got some things for you to look at tonight. How can we pray? We got 2 minutes. How can we pray? Here is some advice. 21 things practically to help you praying. Number 1, praise God for who he is. 2, thank God for what he has done. 3, pray that you remember God's love and grace for you. 4, pray that you would love your neighbors. 5, talk to God about someone in need. 6, pray for someone who does not know Jesus yet. 7, pray that you would love your enemies. 8, pray that you would be generous, giving your time, your money, your energy your finances, your gifts, your skills. Number 9, pray for your church, your Christian community, your pastors, your teachers, your family. Number 10, pray for your city and your nation. Number 11, pray for civic and national leaders. That's a tough one. It works. 12, pray for kindness. I'm working on that one. I'm working on the praying for kindness. Pray for humility. Pray for teachability. Pray for the ability to forgive. Pray for obedience. Pray for your mind to be renewed. Pray for purity. Pray for responsibility. Pray for courage. And pray for hope. Folks, those things truly are the answer. It's not over yet. The survey may say this, but through Jesus and through working together, I hear a lot of these coming. May the Lord bless you. May he keep you, cause his face to shine upon you. It's been awesome. We'll see you on Friday night. Ready to roll. God bless you all. Have a great night. And remember, we're not hopeless. We are hopeful. Good night. God bless you.